Hey, what's up, guys? I just got done with a job, but as I was pulling up to it, I realized that this was the spot that I filmed my first video. So it was kind of like, put me in the mood to make a video. I have absolutely no idea where this is going. I have a lot of things on my mind, and good or in bad, and so I figured throw the camera on and see what happens. But doing okay lately. I've been exhausted. I'm not gonna lie, like just straight exhausted. I've been working a lot, trying to take care of a lot of stuff after work, and then being recovered. I try to make at least 4 or 5 meetings a week, and then and some of those are moving to back in person, so they're now, it's not just turn your phone on for 50 minutes. Now it's half hour each way, hour meeting. It takes up time. I'm very happy that it is back in person, especially my home group went back in person 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was I honestly felt like joy to just see these people and actually shake hands and give hugs and all that stuff. I've grown to be pretty close with a lot of them over the last couple of years, so that's good. But it's one of those like periods, just not enough hours in the day, and mentally, my thoughts kind of have been kind of all over the place lately too. Um, I want to thank everybody for their comments on the video about Rock and Roberta or Rebecca. It was great to watch. Well, it's not great that she died, but it was great to see how many lives she touched, and I was starting to see a lot more videos pop up as far as people that just wanted to speak their truth about her and express, what she meant to them. And I've seen at least 6, 7, 8 videos already, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more coming. And so it's great to see, people keeping her name alive. I heard it. I heard this quote a few weeks ago, and it's probably a common quote, but I had never heard it before, and I was, like whoa. But they say, people actually experience two deaths. When their heart stops beating is one, and then the last time someone ever utters their name is the real death, and I've been thinking about that quote quite a bit when it comes to Rebecca, just because her name isn't going to die anytime soon, at least not in my lifetime. I don't know, that could be a day or that could be 40 years, but as long as my heart's still beating, I'm going to be thinking about her, and especially if I'm making videos, I'm going to be talking about her. And it's just seeing all this stuff over the last week. It's still a hard thing to kind of deal with, especially the way she died and all that stuff, and how quick it was. And I mean, there's still some things that, like, it seems like it's like at least a handful of times throughout the day my mind goes to her. I just hope she's okay and everything. But so I mean, they're still dealing with that, and then dealing with a lot of work, a lot of quick turnarounds, a lot of situations where I'm working until 11 and then coming back, or 11 p.m. and then coming back at 7 a.m. and then working until 7 p.m. and then basically having enough time to go home and shower and then wake back up, at 5 a.m. then work at 7 the next day. It's been a lot of that kind of stuff where it's like been a lot of like all work and no play. and especially like I'm still in early recovery and all that stuff. So, when I've gotten into these periods, I've been trying to be as vigilant as I can, because I know my track record. I know some of the things I've done in the past. And usually when I feel like I'm backed into a corner with something, like where it feels like I'm just in jail, like, okay, you're on overnights for the next 6 months. There's nothing you could do about it. It is what it is. You can't, you're not going to go find another job or whatever. And in the times when I felt really stuck like that, that's usually when I'm pretty good at taking, my will into my own hands. And when I feel like my life is out of control, I'll grab for the control in the way that I know how. And that's with, controlling the way I feel through substances. So I actually had a pretty gnarly craving this last Saturday. I was at work, and I was actually only working a half day, but it was supposed to be my day off. I really haven't had a day off in 2 weeks. And Andrea my partner, she was at an adoption event for a pet, pet store. They had a whole bunch of dogs and cats and stuff. So she was going to be there for most of the day. And she had my son with her too, watching him. And so I was like, in the course of this, like I only worked this 4-hour shift, I had the same thought pop up into my head at least 3 or 4 times, as far as a craving and a plan. And I get cravings quite a bit, or it's just those the nagging craving of, like, if I'm sweaty and uncomfortable, it's like, you should go get some of that. And then it's like, it's easy to kind of bat them down, or I'm seeing kratom being sold at gas stations all the time now, and I've encountered that where, I'm just trying to grab a water and come in and I see it up there, and then well, just grab it. No one's gonna know. So like that stuff that's like, you could just kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But when I've sat around that morning and I had this like very specific thoughts of like, I get out early, I got some time, I know the store that I used to go to is on the way home. I can go home and have a few hours to myself, to where if if I either have a bad reaction or if it's like it's noticeable on me, I'm like, well, that'll be over by the time she gets home and all that stuff. And I thought about that a few times, and that's when I picked up my phone and called my sponsor, just like, I just want to tell on myself for this. Like, I don't want to let it get to the point where I'm white knuckling it, grabbing the steering wheel, like, please don't stop, just keep going. Like, I didn't want it to get to that point. So I talked it through with him, and, and eventually that calmed down. But that's kind of, the cravings have been, I want to say like they've been on an elevated level lately, and I've had a couple of bad ones, as far as like where I'm glad I talked to somebody, because I probably was going to go do it, or, at least I had a plan. And, so, I don't want to call it a struggle, but, sometimes the time goes fast. Sometimes it's like you barely even, remember that you're in recovery, just because you're just out living life, and you feel okay for the most part. And then there's sometimes where it goes extremely slow, and it feels like an hour-to-hour fight. And it almost feels like your mind is setting you up, or my mind is setting me up on stuff. And so like that's kind of how it's been for like the last week. And that's why that's the purpose of making this video, is just to be open about that. I try to put a good face on things with my videos, and it's not even, it's not bullshit or anything. It's just, I try to be positive, and I try to be friendly, and, I don't know, yeah, just be positive. But, I want to be open about the struggles of things too, because there are some days where it's very hard, I struggle quite a bit with anxiety and depression, have my whole life. I have a doctor that a couple of therapists and, psychiatrists and all that I work all that stuff out with. But, it's still hard in recovery. And at least in recovery, those issues, the anxiety and the depression, all that stuff, there's some days where you can almost feel it amplified, And I've had some moments in the last week or two where I knew I was in the middle of it, of kind of a somewhat decent, pretty good size anxiety attack. Not a panic attack like I think I'm dying or anything, just anxiety of, just not staying in the moment, struggling with, staying clean and all that stuff. And then, my mind wants to keep going through the list of like, well, what can I take to make this go away? What can I take to feel better? Where can I take to feel better? I mean, it keeps wanting to go to that list, and that list, there used to be a bunch of stuff on there. There used to be, kratom, or, if that doesn't work, take some Phenibut with it. If that doesn't work, order something from an online pharmacy. It'll be here in 2 weeks, it used to have things on this list, and it very much enjoyed that list. But now my mind, it wants to go to a list, and not only is there nothing on the list, like the list is gone. Like, so it's that game of like, well, what can I do to feel, I hate how I feel. What can I do to, what can I take to get out? Oh, nothing. Oh, well, now I'm more anxious, because now I'm like kind of fighting, like, well, this isn't this is bullshit. I feel like this. I know one of those things is going to help me. Why don't I just go do that thing? And then it's the internal struggle. And then that's especially when I need to be vocal and try and get some of that struggle out of me. So, I don't know. Overall, life is good, though. Yeah. I just hit 2 months. Actually, 2 days ago, I hit 2 months clean again. And, you know, I was proud of myself, but it's like, I don't know, for whatever reason in my mind, it was just like, yeah, whatever, you know. And that's probably why maybe I'm not doing so well right now, or an indication of it. Because I should be very happy about those things, and, but I don't know. I don't want to complain too much because by the time, I think after the next day or two, I think things are going to slow down a bit again, and I'll actually get some rest, and I'll, be actually able to sleep in a day or two over the weekend, and, see my son, and I'm sure it's all going to turn around, That's what I have to tell myself. The last time when I relapsed, I was in a bad place, and I was very anxious, and I held on for a day, and then held on for a half a day, and then, was trying to hang on, and then finally I was just like, screw it. And I went and did something. Well, of course, the next day or two, it's like, all of a sudden I have a day off and, nobody's bugging me to do anything. And it's just like, okay, well, I can relax now. And it's like, well, why didn't I just wait another day? Because, it's like if I would just waited another day, I would have got the rest and then didn't have to deal with any of the crap from the relapse either. So I'm trying to keep that with me this time to just, hang on, because the rest will happen. Sometimes I get, and the woe is me, I work way too much and this isn't fair and blah, 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 blah. And it seems like, right as that moment's coming up, I'm just like, this is too much. Well, then I get, the weekend off and I get the break, and then I kind of feel silly for even, complaining earlier. So I know that that's coming in the next day or two. So I'm going to hang on to that. But I just wanted to update you guys, kind of let you know where I'm at. I did see the subscriber count kind of jump. I have a feeling that, that was due to, subscribers of Rebecca and I don't know. It's a bittersweet thing of I'm sad. I'm obviously very sad that she's gone, but, it's also, I get the vibe in the sense, and, and I've even seen it in comments and subscribers and all that we're all going to stick together. We're all going to carry your message, and we're all going to get through it. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. But love you so much, and see you when I see you. Bye.